Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesdays with Christina. I'm so excited. So in this show, it's just a weekly, just a really quick mini series, hopefully, to just get everybody moving from the hump day, getting us, keeping our minds clear to move towards the weekend. And so we could talk about various topics. You can ask questions. You can write situations and ask for advice or a different perspective. And so that's what this space is here for. Something in at lunchtime, keep you, I can make it through this week. It's going to be fun. I had a good laugh and then we kind of move forward. So let's begin. I have just a couple of questions this time around. And thank you to those people who put questions or put comments. I got a good piece of feedback about other ways of people being able to share some topics and things. So I'm working on that, but I do appreciate that feedback that some of you sent to me. I have this one from a person, they said I could use their name. So Greg, and he's just like, who are you? So I'm going to start there. Maybe that's where we'll take it today. It was like, who the heck am I? So my name's Christina. I currently live in Colorado. Born and raised in New Orleans, so I'm a New Orleans lady. Lived in Atlanta for 10 years as an educator. So I was a music educator who eventually transitioned into the general ed classroom. And then over the years went into leadership, designing curriculum, coaching teachers, designing professional learning, and yada, yada, yada. Came up to Denver because I had this amazing opportunity to be a manager of curriculum and instruction in one of the largest districts in Colorado. Over 90,000 students. And so I led a really awesome team of instructional specialists designing curriculum and programming for arts, physical education, and adapted physical education. So last May, found out, just with COVID, just like everybody else, I was reduction in force because of low enrollment and was laid off. And so after the initial shock and oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. I said, Christina, what the do you want to do? What do you want to do? I was like, I don't want to go back being under another leader in that way. There's a lot of politics when you work in districts that you don't think are political when you're dealing with children. And I don't think the two should marry in the first place. And you ask any true-blooded educator, and they're going to tell you that. Politics is politics. We're dealing with children. But as a leader, I wanted to lead in a different way. I wanted to lead in different conversations around education and most importantly, learning. Because one can be educated and still not know their pathway to learning so I wanted to find other spaces where education is happening, but more importantly, learning. So I took this time to just figure out, like, what do I want to do? So I've launched a podcast, if you all don't know, and it's called the Unlearning Podcast. And in that podcast, I just interview random people with amazing stories to share. And they share with us things that they have unlearned in the hopes that you could listen to it and consider that as a part of your unlearning journey as well. On the other side of that, I'm sorry, y'all, these airplanes today are going, it's Wednesday, so these airplanes are just all over. You hear that? Anyway, the other side of my business is fittingly called Humane in the Membrane. And that is a consulting business, an instructional design business where I work with districts, higher ed institutions. I work with nonprofits, businesses, organizations, you name it, and basically help to redesign and reimagine what the learning experience could look like, not just for kids, for adults as well. Because adults need to have that joyous environment. How many trainings have you been to or professional learnings when you're like, oh my gosh, just shoot me because I'm going to lose it. They're not engaging. You don't really pick up on the information. because you're not engaged. It's not fun. It's not speaking to you. It doesn't acknowledge who you are and some of the ways that you bring things to the table. So that's what I do. And I love that kind of work. It allows me to be creative. It allows me to design systems and structures that people could just flow in their gifts and operate in. So that's a bit of who I am. I'm a mother. I've got a 15-year-old daughter. She's cool. Like, she's somewhere in the house. She's cool. I'm not. And that's where we are right now. Just a mother, a friend, an aunt, colleague, all the things. Care a lot about people and just really love people and want people to be successful on their terms. And that's the difference. I like to see what your gifts are and help you be empowered with the gifts and manifest. That's who I am. I'm just a creative spirit, a loving spirit who wants everybody to just be freaking awesome. That's me. What do you do for relaxation? Good question. Quite honestly, can I say that this layoff has been the best thing that ever happened to me. And here's why. Because I'm finally getting to the point that I feel like I can relax. I have time. We get deceived a lot, I think, when we think money is actually like you're wealthy when you have money. And that's not true. I don't think that's true anymore. I think the luxury is time. And I think the wealth is in your time. And COVID taught everybody that, right? There were things you learned about your kids, you learned about your family, you learned about yourself when we had that time and we were all locked up or on lockdown. And so now I have that taste for it during COVID. And now it's like, oh, wow, I actually have the luxury of time. So I also know that with that luxury, like, you don't piss that time away either. It becomes more purposeful and intentional. And so I'm wealthy in the sense that my time is my time. I work with people. I engage with people. I don't work for anybody. And even if you think I work for someone as a client, I'm still working with you. So there's an ease to it. I think I met a lot of people along the way. And y'all just have to bear with me because I do go on like randomness tangents, like, and skipping. I talk in episodes. It's not linear. So follow along. So, I just forgot what I was going to say. It's cool. It's real. Deal with it. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So I don't even remember. So we're just gonna skip that over. Just skip that over. Next question. It'll come back to me in like 3 seconds, y'all. What is your sign? Okay. It's not a random question. If you don't know and you can't tell already, I'm an Aquarius. So Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, all in Aquarius. So I don't know what that means, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, maybe that means I'm a true Aquarian. I don't know. My personality type is also an INTP. If that makes any, sense about anything. What does self-care mean to you? That's a good question. So I don't know if you all know, but around Valentine's Day in February, I did a practice in self-love. I did a mirror challenge. Did not try to formalize it where people had to sign up. It was just do your different. Do you. You can participate however you needed to participate, right? You could do all 14 days. You could do 2 days. That's between you and you. But I had an interview with Dr. Franita Ware, who was on there, and she talked about self-love and self-care. And the reason I asked her to come on, no shade to all the people on social media and the people who do videos. But as I'm going through my own journey of discovery and trying to heal and from trauma, I I needed something more than just a body wash and a shave and a scrub. Like I just needed something different. And so as I'm watching, I'm seeing the outward appearance of taking care of myself, and I'm doing these things, but I'm like, I just want to know about what's going on inside. Like, what are you doing internally that got you to that point, right? And a lot of videos I saw, male, female, whomever, it wasn't hitting that point. And that's why I asked Dr. Ware to come in. So I'm going to put the link there. Please go and listen to it because it was a great conversation. We only tapped the surface. So she's going to come back and talk more about radical self-care. She's also a guru in radical self-care because she did research on radical self-care and all of the practices. So it's not just bathing. That's hygiene, right? It's eating, it's getting enough sleep, it's exercise, it's your creative expression, it's finding work that's purposeful to you. For me, I think it all starts from a place of love. I don't think you can do anything without love. And so self-love is the inward work, and self-care are the practices that are the external manifestation of that work. Because I love myself, I'm going to make sure I'm eating better. I'm going to make sure I have better sleep. Because I'm talking kindly to myself and I'm encouraging myself, I'm able to do those things for other people. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just, going on shopping sprees. It's very material. It's very surface and materialistic in that point. The other when we do it, only show that part. Like, I'm about showing the whole thing, the 360, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Because you'll have someone sitting there and someone's thinking, gosh, I can't afford all of these things, or, I can't do it because. And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter where you start as long as you start. But if we walk away and we have people thinking that I got to go buy all this stuff in order to matter and love myself, that's a lie. And that's the piece that for me bothered me, because love starts with you. You don't need anything to love yourself. You just love yourself. And so, yeah, that other stuff is hygiene. That's you washing everything from the rooter to the tutor. Like, let's not call that self-care completely. So that's my aspect. Self-love first manifests through the self-care practices. And so that's my journey of loving myself more, talking to myself more, encouraging more kindness, more gentleness, more compassionate to myself, and doing things that are more loving and compassionate for myself. For example, just reminding myself that, especially in our American culture, like, it's a zero-sum game. Like, you can't be in the middle. So zero sum this is like all or nothing. You have to be great. And if you're not great by our standards, you're not anything. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. Whoever needed to hear that, it's a complete lie. It's BS. Don't believe that, because we're more than that. So that's my little preaching session on that. I tend to go off on a tangent, so it helps to have people to, Christina, we get it. I also wanted to tell you all, while I'm looking up other questions, but I wanted to thank those of you who have been listening to my podcast, especially everybody, first of all, because I'm now over like 100 downloads. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much. Also, guys, I got to thank my guys out here, because the women were leading it. The women have been on it. It was when I first started the podcast, it was like 80-something% all female. Men have now started steadily like creeping in. And so I just love that. I love that men are listening. I love that women are listening too, but my guys, because there's words of encouragement that you definitely need to hear, especially my Black guys. My brothers need to hear some things. And so I'm so excited that you guys you're making that incline. So if there's any, a topic or something that you really want to hear about on the podcast or hear, just drop it in the message, or you can email me, or you can I'll put the link to the little form that you just basically write what it is, and that's it. It's kind of like a little commercial. Look at me. Let's see, what time are we at? We're at 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up because these other two questions can go. Maybe we'll save those for next week. Yeah, I hope you learned a little bit about me with this. I do say a lot of a lot, huh? I do. That's okay, though. I'm just trying to gather my words. But just hope that you learned a little bit more about me. You got a little insight on these questions. If there's a topic, please just, I want this to be something that you can listen to and just, man, like this was fun. This was interesting. So to make that interesting, your brains, all of our brains collectively is better than just one. So, if you got a topic or you've got a question or, if there's something you want me to read and then just talk about that, just let me know. Hope you guys just have a great day. Hope you have a great rest of the week. And I always say, live your life first class. You are beautiful. You are amazing. Love you. God bless. Goodbye.